last one, sir?
I'll tell you when I've had enough. I can't believe I lost that deal. Hey guys, how you going? So today we wanted to put together a video talking about what to do when you lose the big deal. So some of the common things that we see, particularly junior sales guys do when they've got a big deal on the line, and we're talking big deal anywhere from $15,000 to $200,000. And everything's going great. You know, the guys, they back and forth, you're going back on terms, you're going back on price, and you're going back on a start date with that client. So one of the biggest things is when one of those deals, it looks like a home run, but it just doesn't come off. For whatever reason, they go through at the last minute, they pull out once the contract has come. The biggest thing and biggest mistake that we see our sales reps do is get emotional about it, right? That means ordering ice cream, listening to sad songs, and drinking a beer. You know, these aren't conducive to being able to fix that problem and get to the solution for the next time you encounter this. My biggest tip is to avoid getting emotional about the outcome of a sale. In certain instances, you just cannot save a sale. Nobody converts 100% of the time for the entirety of their career. It is completely normal, and it's important from our end as sales leaders that we don't glorify success in sales by showing that we have 100% close rates, 90%, 80%, all of the time. On certain accounts, we have 30%, we've got 40%, we've got 50%. Sure, we do have a lot of high-end accounts where we're closing at significantly above the industry standard, but there is so many factors that go in behind that. The biggest key to remember is you can only close the deal that's in front of you, right? So trying to avoid getting emotional about sales calls is going to be the first thing that allows us to move on. And the reason we want to be able to move on when we do suffer a loss is so that we don't take that loss into the next sales call and have the psychological impact of losing that deal, adjust and alter the way we make decisions when we get on the phone the next time, often 10 minutes after that call ended. So what we recommend, instead of getting emotional about that, is go back to the basics. Figure out the things that you're doing well. Replicate those things of what you've done that you know have closed deals in the past. And just accept that sometimes we can't get everyone. Because what happens if we take away those little things and, you know, we take a loss, we let it affect us emotionally, that's the first step to falling into a slump. We want to avoid that by getting straight back up on the horse and treating every sales call as if it's a brand new game. Scores are 0-0 and we're going in right from the start. Okay? So some of the key tips when, you know, sales guys, they start to rack up a couple of losses and they want to change things, right? So the biggest thing that we want to do is review previous calls, take out the wins and embody them into the next sales call so that we can continue to do the things that were successfully getting us wins. One of the other big mistakes outside of our getting emotional is making changes, right? A lot of sales guys, when they start to get a couple of losses, their close rate starts to go down, their cash collector starts to go down, they're taking home less commission. They try and change things too quickly and too rapidly to account for the changes that are going wrong. And I guess like a perfect example of this, you know, you're at the casino. You've been doing okay, you know, you maintain, you get a couple of wins, you get more wins than losses. Then all of a sudden, that pile of chips starts to go down. You've had a couple of losses, right? What we don't want to do is start throwing extra money on the table to lose that. Because when we do that and we start changing the tactic, i.e., let's say if you were betting with 20s for the last 24 hours in Vegas, all of a sudden you start to get a couple losses, now we switch it up to 50s. You are going to lose more when you lose putting 50s on the table as opposed to 20s, right? And that is the same as when we adjust our sales process because we've got a couple of losses without first recognizing what we were doing successfully to replicate that. So the biggest things that we can take away to avoid us getting into a slump and when we start to get losses on a sales call is to, one, not let ourselves get emotional, not change things, and then review the things that were making us successful in the first place and replicate that. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening.